Hello foodie friends, welcome back. We have a really special month of recipes this time. We're gonna go through some viewer suggestions that have been given to me in the comment sections of some of my videos. And I picked some of the ones that seemed really interesting and ones I really wanted to showcase. And the first one I'm really excited about because I did not know this existed, and I'm so glad that this particular viewer let me know about it. I have here one of the very first recipe books ever put together by the Mennonites. And as far as I could tell, this is still considered the Bible of Mennonite cooking even today, and is still used in a lot of the communities quite extensively. And it was put together by a fascinating lady called Mary Showalter. And she was born in 1913, went on to have an illustrious career in college, earning her doctorate in 1957 in home economics, and helping many other women not only graduate and become teachers in their own right, but also helping to preserve the Mennonite culture and particularly the food history at the same time. So she served in World War II in the Civilian Public Service Program, and it was there she got the idea to put together and showcase the Mennonite food history. So not only did she compile recipes from Mennonite communities all over the United States, but she also extensively tested each and every one of them for its quality and tastiness before she put it in her cookbook. Now, it was incredibly hard to narrow down what recipe that we were going to pick out of this cookbook. And then I had an idea. I had done an Anabaptist food celebration month, several months back, in which I highlighted Amish Mennonite Hutterite cooking. And one of the most popular videos in that series was the Shoofly Pie. However, we didn't actually like that particular recipe. And as I started looking more into Shoofly Pie recipes, I realized that the one I had chosen was actually written a little odd and maybe had gotten kind of lost in translation in the editing process for that particular cookbook. So we're going to try the Shoofly Pie recipe in this cookbook and see if we can do better. So let's go ahead and try that pie. Pause here to write down what you'll need to follow along. Okay, so now we have Mitch helping us here make our pie. And first he's gonna put his boiling water into a bowl. And you see we have our baking soda right here. And Mitch, you're gonna put that in there and stir until dissolved. And then once that's incorporated, go ahead and grab your molasses. And now here's kind of the hard part.
Is it?
I don't know, I don't think there's a worse substance to work with than blackstrap molasses. And here you can see Mitch is desperately trying to get this molasses to dissolve off of our cooking utensils. Now he's gonna add the egg, and this is gonna be our wet portion of the pie. And now we're gonna move on to the dry portion. So I have a bowl here, and this has already got our flour in it, and Mitch is just going to add the sugar, and you're gonna crumble that in together. And then once that's thoroughly mixed, we're going to grab this shortening right here and cut it into the pastry. And really you're just gonna rub that together and make crumbs. So this pie crust, I just followed a recipe from Pillsbury for a one crust pie dough. But you can also get it from Betty Crocker and countless dozens of blogs on internet. So you can just follow whichever pie crust recipe that you like the best. So you're gonna take a third of this mixture and pour it into the bottom of that pie pan. Then you're gonna take a third of your dry mixture and add that to the top. And now you're gonna do another third. And another third of this. And as you can see, Mitch is like being really pretty with adding the crumbs. He tends to be more, what would you say, precise in your cooking? Yeah, whereas I kind of tend to be, yeah, let's just dump this together. So we'll see who makes the better pie. I'd say this is gonna turn out to be the better pie anyway. And now this is your last third, right? Okay. And now we're gonna take our last third and crumble all that on top. And now we're gonna bake this beautiful pie in a 375-degree oven for about 35 minutes. And don't forget your pie crust shield. Ooh, that looks so good.
It smells really good.
Yeah, it smells good. Go ahead and, yeah. Oh, yeah. And look how beautifully that pie shield protected that crust.
That did pretty good.
That is so worth it. Okay, so we pulled this out. It smells so good. And you know what? I think Mitch did a beautiful job on this pie. It looks great. However, you did have one little worry, right?
Yeah, I think I poured more than a third on the first pour, and that's why it's not as incorporated.
Yeah, he's thinking, yeah, because so you think that there might be still too much crumb on top.
And everything else kind of just like shifted underneath it.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, we tried. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a try and see if we like it better than the first shoofly pie. Oh man.
That's good.
Okay. I'm just gonna say I like this 1,000 times better than the first shoofly pie we made.
Definitely. Yeah.
This is so good.
It is really good.
This is what a shoofly pie I imagine is supposed to taste like. And so now we kind of know the first recipe, like I said, I think it just kind of got lost in the editing process and it wasn't really well explained. Whereas this one was very simple and how she wrote the recipe was perfect. I mean,
yeah, it was really
yeah,
clear.
the steps were the steps were clear. And I mean, you've never made this pie before and you went right to it and made a beautiful pie. So I think the proof's in the pudding or the pie, so to speak. So overall, I would probably give this pie a 4.
Yeah, easy.
I mean, yeah, it's cheap, it's easy, and it tastes good. You really can't ask for a better recipe than that. Yeah. As far as the cookbook itself, I'm gonna give this a 5. It's fascinating. I mean, this woman single-handedly preserved Mennonite food culture all on her own. I mean, tested, just the amount of work that she put into this cookbook alone deserves a medal. I don't know how she did it. It was, and not only that, but she took the photographs of the food herself, using her own dishes and I mean, she literally did every single step there was to put this cookbook together. And just in terms of that, it is just mind-boggling to me. The amount of work that would have to take. without an editor, without a publishing house helping her, no photographers, you know, professional photographers. She did it. And the result is absolutely wonderful. So I would highly recommend this. I picked this copy up on Amazon. You know, you can, if you want to get an older edition. I think I got the 65th anniversary edition. So this is obviously newer, but it's still the exact same text and same photographs. But of course, if you wanted a more antique edition, you could maybe haunt eBay and see if it's there, but you're going to pay quite a bit more. Yeah, so I just went ahead and got like the new re-release. And so glad that I did. So thank you to that viewer who suggested this cookbook, because we have plenty of good eating ahead of us now that we got this.
I'm looking forward to trying some more.
Oh yeah, I would like to try more pies actually. There were some other pies in there that was like, wow, that looks really interesting and really good. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up so we can finish our pie. But stay tuned, because for the next several weeks, we're going to have even more viewer suggestions that I picked up on Amazon, of course, because that's my favorite place to apparently get all these cookbooks. The
easiest place to get
them. It is, yeah, that I kind of don't need, but I kind of want. So stay tuned for that. And on our last week of this month, we're actually going to have another viewer of mine, my mother, who you could say was my very first viewer and first subscriber. She's going to come in with her favorite cookbook and a recipe out of that one. And it is a fascinating cookbook.
Okay.
It is so cool. And it's actually, well, no. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil it, because that's how cool it is. So we're going to go ahead and go. Thank you for watching this week. Really hope you tried this pie. It is awesome. So much better than the first one that we made. And we will see you next time. Bye. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for future videos. In the meantime, here are 2 videos you may enjoy. Thanks for watching.